Hello, viewers, and welcome to the latest episode of the GI Huddle. I'm with David Mann, Swintt CEO. David, thanks very much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Tim.
Yeah, pleasure to have you on. As we speak, we're sort of just about a year, almost a year into your role as CEO. First question, I think it makes sense to start with. How do you kind of reflect on your time in the job so far?
So it's almost been a year since I took the role of CEO at Swintt. Yeah, it's just been a fantastic 11 months so far. Getting to lead the team that I've obviously helped to build and to work with over the years, and to be able to see the amazing progress on so many fronts for the company. We've had a really busy year. We've got a lot of major projects ongoing. Our new tech stack and onboarding more people, entering new markets, releasing a wider array of games. There's really been a lot going on, but it's really been an honor and a privilege for me to be sitting at the top of this, and being able to bask in the success of the wider team.
Brilliant. Yeah, I mean, in that time, so much has happened in the industry, and the industry is always changing. But within the company itself, how has Swintt changed since you joined the company originally? Because obviously you became CEO, but you were with Swintt before that. And in terms of your personal development, so your kind of journey to CEO and the time since, how would you kind of reflect on that?
Yeah. Yeah, as I said, I mean, there's a lot of stuff has really happened there. So, for me to take the step up from the commercial side, moving into to being CEO, there's a lot to learn in terms of the wider business units that impacts. So, of course, I'm much more of a handle on the operational side and the compliance and legal, working closely with the tech teams and in product. So, to kind of pulling these things all together, there's a lot to do and a lot to learn, of course, right? So that's been really exciting, and everybody's all continuously wants to learn and grow. And I think it's really allowed me, being in a more senior position as well. I'm able to get more involved with the wider impact of our business and other business units within the Glitnor Group, which is fantastic. And repay the faith that I've had from those above me. I guess in terms of changes, there's a lot of projects we've already had since before, and as I mentioned, with a new tech stack, which is an important major moment for us. And we've continued to keep growing the team. So while we've hired less Davids, as sadly one of our hallmarks at Swintt,
Yeah.
we do continue to grow the team with amazing people, and really try to deliver the right content for our partners. So the SwinttStudios project has been something I've focused on and been able to really drive since I've been here. And it's been great to get more involved in the kind of product side of our business, as we try to kind of vary the content that comes out of Swintt.
We'll definitely talk a little bit more about SwinttStudios later, and I remember speaking to you when you kind of became CEO, and I also I couldn't help but joking that is does a CEO at your wider company have to be called David? But when we spoke then,
Definitely helps.
yeah, absolutely. When we spoke then, you talk about you spoke about certain what you wanted to achieve in the role, and it's only been as we say, almost a year, but do you think you've kind of, with what you maybe had in mind, let's say a year on at that time, how do you rate kind of what you have achieved so far and what maybe you've still got left of your kind of personal goals and what you want to implement?
Yeah, I suppose us entering into a lot of new markets, that has been one of the targets that I've had, and something that I've really pushed for the guys to try and grow. We know that being available to more customers and more markets is important for us. We can then leverage our content across new regions, and of course work closer with our operators who work in different jurisdictions at times. So that's been one thing we've focused on. There's still a lot more markets for us to enter that have been, let's say, target markets
Yeah.
for us as a team. But I guess if you ask me, I'll say it's been a very successful 11 months. Things have really went in the right direction. We have a really good team spirit. I think the way that our team conduct themselves in the industry, the reputation that we have, we're a great bunch of people, and I'm really proud of what we can achieve. So I hope that I've had some impact on the team and the way they were growing and the way that we're moving forward, as everyone obviously tries to move towards the vision of what Swintt believes in.
The parent company, Glitnor Group, you obviously mentioned that there was a David in charge, and now we have a new CEO in Richard Brown. I just wanted your kind of initial thoughts on that appointment.
I'm looking forward to Richard coming in. I've heard a lot of great things. I've never worked directly with Richard, but some of my peers in the industry, some friends of mine have worked closely with him, and they only speak highly of him. And I think as Glitnor Group, we're very entrepreneurial, we're very fast moving, fast thinking, and progressive company. And I think having a solid leader and a young leader like Richard in our company is really reflective of where we are. It's going to be a big couple of years for Glitnor Group. We even within Malta, we're moving to a new office very soon, possibly by the time this video is published. So it's going to be really interesting that there's a lot of these big steps forward for the group, and we're really starting to make a significant mark in the industry. And I think Richard is going to be a fundamental piece of that as well.
Yeah, I think there's definitely pedigree there, and from an objective standpoint, you could see kind of the impact he had at GIG, and so yeah, let's we obviously ourselves look forward to kind of again objectively seeing what he kind of brings at Glitnor Group. In your kind of previous answer, you talked about new markets. Can I ask what new markets? What are the most recent ones you've launched in? What are the ones you're planning to launch in? And are there some maybe a little way off in the horizon, but you're starting to kind of get your eye on?
We like to keep the compliance team busy anyway. So there's never a quiet moment with the legal team, but they're doing a fantastic job. They're really taking us into a lot of new markets. So Ontario is definitely going to be coming very soon for us. We were also in the process to get a license in Greece, and we're looking at Romania as well. There's a number of other markets where we just need certification that we're aiming to enter towards the end of the year. We're hoping in our targets there. There's Bulgaria, Switzerland, Italy, as well as cementing our place in some of our existing markets that we've launched recently. So of course we have a Swedish B2B license being part of Glitnor Group. We're one of the best performing brands in the Swedish market, as well as looking into really growing our presence within the regulated German market, given that we recently achieved the approval from the German regulator for our content. So Germany's a really crucial market for us. We have German land-based content that we distribute online, and this is proven to be a fantastic hit for players. So we're really looking forward to seeing that get more and more traction within the German market again.
Yeah, as you say, the compliance team definitely going to be busy because that's quite a few key markets you've mentioned, and certainly some that have come up a lot recently, as you say, kind of Greece, Romania, Sweden, and Ontario. Here at Gambling Side, we've had kind of nothing but good things from the people already in the market. So yeah, that looks a very promising one. Again, we said earlier, you mentioned Swintt Studios. I wanted to ask you specifically about what the partnership program offers, and how is it different from kind of the rest of the business?
So with Swintt Studios, going back to kind of the formation of Swintt, one thing that we started was looking into content that works in certain markets, and trying to get that kind of localized, popular games that players want. So as I just mentioned, the German land-based content, our partner producing these games, it's been an outstanding success as we've been able to deliver those games into many operators, and not just in Germany, but of course other markets where players enjoy those land-based style games with all the classic features and sounds and the solid math behind them. So that's been a real focal point for us. And through the Swintt Studios project, we're not exclusively looking for content that works in localized markets, but it's definitely one of the focal areas. So we're in talks with quite a number of studios at the moment to try and bring certain content that'll work in certain markets to the front. We already have some games that are very popular across different regions. And our partners that we've launched already, which is through Samurai Studio and Fine Edge Gaming, they deliver really high quality games built out of really experienced people within the industry. So games that can tap into players and really perform well. But as I said, we'll be continuing to look for more localized partnerships and be able to not only strengthening the overall Swintt portfolio, but making sure that we can actually offer our partners content that works for their players. So as I mentioned, we go into more markets. Ideally, then we have content that's going to work in that market, and we can serve our partners even better with the right stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It all adds up there, as you say, in terms of expansion and the localization. A final topic I wanted to ask you about SwinttPlatform and the kind of upgrades you're making there. Kind of, you talked earlier about the tech stack and the importance of technology. How does this all kind of play in with the Swintt platform?
It's just a case of modernizing the business fundamentals. We want to make sure, it's cloud hosted, extremely modern. We were able to make, much easier, fantastic updates to the platform as well. So we're going to have a whole range of promotional tools that we can then use from the platform. There'll be the usual classics of free spins, but with jackpots, there's going to be gamification. And the general studios model itself will be much easier and much more effective for our partners to tap into to be able to distribute those. So really, it's just going to completely bring our business to the forefront with a solid, really market leading platform that will help us to grow for years to come.
Absolutely, yeah, and obviously in this business, you've always got to kind of innovate and change to stay ahead, right? Given the competition, given the kind of rate of change.
Yeah, it's a really fluid marketplace, right? There's a hell of a lot of competition at the moment, especially in B2B slot provision. It seems like an endless amount of providers, and I get it. There's a lot of really great creative minds out there producing some really exciting content. So we have our ways and we have our plans, our strategy to take different types of games into different markets, as well as leveraging some of the existing games we have with our partners. And I think it's proven to be the right formula for us so far.
Mhm. Well, David, thank you very much for your time. Best of luck with everything you're looking to achieve, and I'm sure we'll hear a lot more from you in the near future.
Excellent. Cheers, Tim. Thank you.
Thank you.